Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a catch-up video on my latest project. I've been working really hard, having so much fun, I can't even tell you. Organizing, yes, I like organizing, and creating, which of course is a fun part also. But the first thing that I would like to kind of touch base on is the organization piece of this project. I realize that I have spent quite a bit of time on that subject, but as I've worked with my ephemera, my bits and pieces, I found that there was a lot of room for more organization. But first I want to show you my bin, because I'm very proud of this. So this is the bin. Just a second. Let me get this out of the way. That's a different subject altogether. Okay, so here's my bin. Now, I don't know if you watched my last video or if you remember the state of this bin when I first started this project, but look at all this room. Look at how much stuff I have used here. If you could squish this, you couldn't put anything in there before. So that's a lot of room. These were full, and I'll talk about the organization of all of this in just a second. But yeah, I've really just whittled down a lot of stuff. And these were 3 boxes, if you'll remember. So let me show you a little bit more of the organization. These are the different parts of how I make my clusters. Let me put them in some kind of an order here. So I start with my back. You know, your basic back. These are for the smaller clusters. And then a piece of, some sort of piece of paper, you know, some decorative paper. And then I use these longer bits. I have those separated out because I like to have kind of a longer bit coming from my clusters. And then these are the images that I will add to my clusters. Not always, but for the most part, that's how the whole thing kind of comes together. Now this is something I use quite a bit for my organization. It's a vintage, yeah, I think it's just a muffin tin. Yeah, it's a vintage muffin tin, and I have these put in here like kind of in size order, large, medium, and small. These are my tiny bits. And I find that if I'm looking for something in the smaller bits and I can move them over here, if I have a place to put them where they're not going to get mixed up again, it's kind of nice to kind of go back and forth with the different sized bits so that you kind of have a place to move them around so that you can see what you have and use them. This is another organization piece of this, and I took all of my larger pieces that I would use to embellish or make clusters on, or however I want to use those in this bin right here. This used to be filled with stuff that I've since organized. Here's some tag size pieces. Some of them have been inked, some of them are prepped. These are from a journal, one of my first journals that I cut up into pieces to reuse into my other journals, which is a good idea sometimes if you just have too much stuff, right? Tags, my Margaret 7 Plaza book page tags. This is my little collection of envelopes. I started this today, but I kind of got started on something else after a while. And some checks, and you know, these are things that I shared in my last video, so I don't want to go through that too much, but I organized them to where when I grab them, I know what I'm grabbing, because it was a mess. I'm really kind of over having everything in a jumble in my art room. So that's what that is. Now, what I want to show next is the clusters. So what I did was, as I always do, I was making these, then throwing them in a box. And they were kind of getting jumbled around. It was becoming a problem. So I decided that I had all this already on hand. These are all items that I had for other projects. This was going to be like a word of the year binder. That kind of fell to the wayside. This was going to be a Happy Mail binder, and I decided this would be a better project for it. This was something that I was doing with a group that I used to belong to, and just all kinds of different projects throughout the years that I was involved in that just kind of petered out to make room for my number one love, which is art journaling. So because some of these other projects were taking up that time, I just lost interest. And so I'm turning them into some organization for art journaling. Now, or junk journaling. That's mostly what I do. So this one right here, I have designated as my envelope binder. Now, with everything else in my life, this could change. But for today, for this week at least, this is my envelope binder. So this is a small envelope that I made a month or so ago from some shabbydabbydoodah funness. And then this is just some junk that I had. I've already shared these envelopes. Well, at least that one I think I did. Yeah. Yeah, I did in my last video. But I just wanted to show this cute little binder that I put together where as soon as if it's been decorated, embellished, then it goes in here where I can find it. If it hasn't been embellished yet, then it goes in that box. This one is larger, or tag. No, this one is my tags. This one doesn't have any, it doesn't have it needs an embellishment at the top. It needs a tie. But this is my tags binder, where if I've already embellished it and it's ready to go into a journal, then it goes in here. This is one I made last night. I kind of like that one. And let's see. Yep, that's it. So this is tags. Let's see. What's this one? Oh, this one is kind of my larger. This is a tag too. I guess I could have put that one in there. I think I will. There. But let me show it to you real quick because I really like this one. I used this cute little Polaroid. It's very colorful, very springy. Really like that one. But this is where I'm going to be putting journaling cards, postcard size, or larger tags that won't fit in some of these other places. And it's kind of an easy little fit in there. That was made from a recipe card. Really like that one. And here's another tag. I think I'll put that one in the tag one. I guess I use a lot more tags than I thought. Very springy. This is from Tracy Fox Creative right here. This one I think might be from the Junk Journal Studio. Lots of different pieces, lots of different things that go together. This one's fun. Another Polaroid. Another tag. I should put that in with my tags. A doily. And just a little label. Love it. Okay. And see how big this one is. This one's really rather big. It's on a recipe card. Just some junkety junk that I've had forever that I put together and had fun with color. Set that one aside. Yeah. This is one I made last night. Kind of getting into some color schemes, but they're kind of fun. Put that in there. Try not to tear it up. There we go. All right, yes, a couple more that I made last night. I like this one. Sometimes it's hard to find ways to use these vintage images from children's books, but clipping them out with your maybe with your Cricut, or if you have a punch, that works. And this one was fun. See how these bigger ones will fit into these postcard size really nicely. I like this one. I just did not know what I was going to be able to do with that train, but I did not want to cut it up, and I think that came out pretty good. And this is all just a bunch of junk that I've had sitting around forever that I put together. It's kind of amazing what you can come up with, right? Oh, this one was fun. These are all the ones I made last night. I was up late. I really like the way this turned out. This little piece right here is from the top of some scrapbook paper that I just couldn't throw away. I thought those were just so adorable. And then just this is a flashcard, a Japanese language flashcard, and just a punch of one of my my pages that I paint on, and yeah, little journaling card. So yeah, I have one more. This one's a work in progress, and it's upside down. So this one's a work in progress. As you can see, these binders, if you get these regular size, they stick out. So I'm going to be sewing this to a smaller size or cutting it off, one or the other. Oh, I'll show you what I was planning on doing with those in just a second. So these are some journaling card sizes. That's a tag, of course, but that's going to stay in there because it's small. So this is for kind of my smaller cluster bits. And these aren't done yet, but I just kind of wanted to have something pretty in those pockets. And this is something that I had done from a different, from a group that I belonged to years ago. And we did these fun sewing projects on our plastic to make these really pretty card holders. See smaller bits. And tiny bits. Have these little tiny ones. And yeah, this is what I wanted to, this is the one I wanted to show you though. This is what I was hoping to do on these. Make some, just some pretty stitching on there, and then cut it out and do something kind of just a little bit different on the edge. So yeah, those are my cluster organizers, right? Okay, so now I want to show you what I've done to use up some of my scraps in my journals. This one, believe it or not, is almost done. I have a few more pages in that one, but I wanted to show you this one first. This is where I used up a lot of just pieces of paper, and I am absolutely in love with what happened in this journal. So there are a couple of pages done in here. I want to get to the first one. Kind of plain. It's an envelope. It's a coin. It's like a coin envelope. I put some journaling in there. Pretty basic. This one is not done yet, but I wanted to show you. This is a tuck spot that I made with. Sometimes I can find these paint chips that have these windows, and I put some butterfly paper in there, in the little windows, and then I have a little tuck spot. But this is what I've done in this journal. I've taken all of my, just a basket full of just pieces of paper, and just adhered them to all the pages to kind of prep them, because I really wasn't happy with the paper that I had chosen for this journal. And so putting these on here just makes them so much prettier. You can paint over these, you can gesso over them, you can do all kinds of stuff on these. But I like the way they look, and it was a great way to use up all of those small bits of paper. This is I think this journal is going to stay a little bit less decorated and just kind of enjoy this background. This is something that I collaged last night. It's a little file folder. It's a mini file folder. So I'll put some tags in there or something, some journaling spots. But yeah, this is from a journal that I took it apart for some reason. I don't even remember why, and this needed a home, and so I thought this would be a nice home for it. Pretty bright, pretty colorful, but it's nice to have this back into a journal. It's been floating around my art room for quite a while. This one's bright. So yeah, I'll play around with color. Some of them will be subdued. Some of them will be pretty bright, it looks like. But yeah, I really, I can't wait to jump into this journal. It just turned out so darn cute. Shabbydabbydoodah. I love how bright her papers are. So I thought those would look pretty together. A little half page right here. I think I bent that over and then collaged over it. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way that turned out. Okay, there we are. So I did a video on this one. This is from an Eastern European fairy tale book. And she reminded me of kind of the Ukrainian headdress, traditional headdress. So I don't know if that's what that was supposed to be, but that's what it reminded me of. And was in some happy mail from a friend in Belarus, which I love. So I thought this was really nice. And then this is a page spread that I finished. It was already prepped with gesso and tinted matte medium. And so I just put one of my decorated mini masterboard tags on there, a little embellishment, a little envelope, and a tag, some shabbydabbydoodah printable. And yeah, super fast, super easy. And that's what's going on with doing this project, is because I'm having so much fun making all these clusters and tags and embellishments, I'm just racing through my journals. This is recent and just kind of plain, just using up some things, playing with, color, playing with, just items that I have, just finding a home for them. That was fun. This one I've done, this one's kind of old. This is an older page spread. This one's newer. I had fun with this one, just, one piece there, a little embellishment, and yeah, put a little tab on there. And I think that might be all of, yeah, let's go. Oh, this is where I used up some of my, my pile of neutral little small pieces of paper. Let's see, I think that's it. I usually try not to jump around too much in my journals. So yeah, we'll call that one done. Okay, so this is the one that I have got quite a bit done in. You've already seen that if you watched my last video. This is new. So a little pocket with a little tag, embellishment, belly band. Just an envelope that I covered with a bunch of my paper, and this was something I've had from a vintage magazine that I bought years ago, and I like to keep little items like that. They make them personal, even though it's somebody else, it's fine. A little tuck spot, a tag from a time card that I did upside down, as you can see, so that's not a big deal though. And I just loved this paper, always have, so now it's got a home. Super simple, just some paper and a photo, vintage photo, little flower, and vintage early reader, a flower, tag. This one was fun. File folder, doily, cutout. This is from a very old storybook. The kind you read to your kids at night, that kind of thing. Yeah. This is a tuck spot with a little envelope. I don't know if I shared that one yet or not, but yeah. Cute. I think that I may have, I don't know if I shared these or not, but this one was fun. Just some fussy cutting, a little embellishment, another tag, a tuck spot. This was a shabbydabbydoodah mass making project that I had made quite a few of them and just added a little bit of a collage on there, and this was fun. So these are some these were on sticker paper from a project that I used to work on quite a while ago that I don't work on anymore, and I needed a place to just get rid of all of them, so I put them all on one page spread. And I had this cluster that I made, that it was with this retro ad and just some of my painted paper and a little tab. And then just a vintage, a library card from a book from back in the day. Some of these stamps are from the 60s, I think. Most of them from the 70s. And I just kind of wanted to keep it plain. I really wanted to see all of these vintage looking library card pieces. So yeah, kind of a plain page, but I like it. Let's see this one. Oh, this one was fun. So this is a frame from a shabbydabbydoodah printable that I put a backing on, and then I cut this lady out of photograph and put her in there, and then there he is on the other side. I think she's pining for the young man. A little bit of this right here. I can't remember what shop I got this from. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description box. But just a beautiful rose, like she's sitting in a garden, which in the original picture she actually was sitting in a garden. But yeah, just one of my background painted pieces, and super cute, super easy. This one was fun. I did not want to cover up this cute illustration from a children's book. So I tried to bring the same colors up into a cluster above because it was all just this, text and stuff. So it wasn't very interesting. And I wanted to bring that same color scheme over here, and I had this tag. So they went together pretty well, I think. I like the way it came out. That is, other than this one, I need to finish this page spread, but I like that these greens and some of these colors kind of go together, so I haven't made up my mind what I want to do with that. And that's it. That's all I have is these like 3 or 4 page spreads left. Yeah, super tickled about that. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to get organized, get a few things together, and make a few clusters with you. Okay, so I'm going to get out a few of my favorite things to work with. Here's another framed little picture. I don't know if I'll use that or not. But I love using these little Polaroids. These are Polaroids that I purchased off the internet. And these are my own photos that I turned into Polaroids on editing app. So they're kind of big, and I was hoping to kind of stay small. These are from buttons. They're vintage button cards, I guess you call them. These are vintage business cards. I don't know where I got those. And then just some playing cards, flash cards, and a few scrapbook pieces. So I'll start with those. And how I like to do these is I get them organized, and then I use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to hold them together. Let me grab one for you real quick here. I think this one might be a good example. So I'll hold everything together, and then I'll put like three or four staples to hold it. And then I'll go back and get down in there with my glue, and I'll glue in different spots just to make sure that it holds together. But, it's in a journal. It's not really going to, it gets bounced around a little bit, but it'll stay together pretty well. But I use the stapler because while I'm holding it I've got it positioned the way I want it, and I want it to stay that way. So I use the stapler to keep everything stationary, and then because if I try to glue it, it'll start moving around, and it's always kind of a problem. So I love using my tiny attacher. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, because talking while I'm doing this never works for me. So I'm going to put on some music, and I'm going to start putting some stuff together, and I'll break in if I feel like there's something I need to share. So I think I have this the way I want it. This might want to, I feel like that needs to come out just a little bit. Or I could turn it. No, because that bottom part usually is what... See what I mean by moving things? I'm really super clumsy. I bang things around. So now I've got to get it all organized again because I want everything to be as straight as I can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's... I know it'll bother me if I don't have it just about right, because there's a lot of lines on that. But so, okay, so right here, I try to grab as many layers with my tag attacher, not my tag, tiny attacher, yeah, tiny attacher, sorry. With my tiny, I'm trying to cover up that line that's kind of bugging me. I'm not liking that. But I try to grab as many layers with my tiny attacher as I can. So I could drop this and all of this is going to probably stay together. This is a little bit crooked. See that? See, it's a little bit crooked there. That's not making me happy. So I'm going to take that out. Let's see if I can get one of the, if I can get one of the staples out, I might be able to straighten that out a little bit. So here, yeah. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Get that up. Move that a little bit. Yeah, okay. I usually don't have to do that, but I did this time, I think. There we go. Okay, that's close enough. There's a little hole there, but that's okay. That's not going to bother me too much. Okay, so now I'm going to get into my smaller bits. Let me clear this off. So here we are over here. I'm going to grab, I don't think I'm going to need any of this right here, but I may need just a couple of things from over here. I know this seems like a strange choice, but there's a little bit of purple in the background of this that I might be able to capture with just a little piece. You never know. Yeah, I should have gone with the first one. Let's see. It's not the same color of purple, so I don't know if I want it next to it too closely. Oh yeah, that's probably good. So I think I'll throw a little bit of purple in there. See what I have. That's yellow. You know, something, I feel like something green might be good. Maybe if I put that down. My clusters tend to be pretty elaborate because I'm trying to use up a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'll use that. I try not to overthink it because there's not enough time in the day, right? Okay, so I think I can afford one more staple. I don't like to overstaple them. Whoops. Let's see. See if I can get that in there. There. Then I just kind of pull things out just a little bit and give it just a dot here and there, a little squeeze here and there to just kind of hold it in place. That's kind of bugging me right there. Let me get that on there. I think, yeah. The glue dries fast. Yeah, that's on there. Okay, so I have to get this little arrow on there. There. Just a little extra something. There we go. And we have a cluster. It's that fast. It's that easy. If you have your things organized to where you have them in, progression of layers, you could whip out these clusters in no time at all. So another thing that I do when I'm in the process of making one of these and I'm just kind of struggling, which isn't unheard of, is I use these little clips that I picked up at the dollar bins at Joann. And but there's lots of different kinds of clips like this that you can purchase here and there. I'm kind of liking the way this looks. I'm liking the colors, but I just feel like it needs more. Whoops. Like maybe one of these. This is some fabric, some vintage fabric that I have that I did I scanned. And so is this. I like scanning my vintage fabric to make my own paper. Oh, that's kind of cute. Yeah. Now this, I feel like I need something up here. Let's see. Oh, let's grab this. See what we have in here. The whole idea is to be using this stuff up. So as many times as I can grab this to... I'm just going to put that in there because I want to use it up. kind of feeling like I want to have something in this little corner. That'll do. Kind of thick, so I want to pull the back off. This is a little, you know, the memory games. It's a vintage card from a memory game from back in the day. I love the kitschy little fun images on them. Yeah, that'll work. Very springy. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside to dry and clean up my area, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we talked about my organization. I made a couple of clusters, and I even did a journal page, which I have to tell you, I'm really, really tickled with. This was a bit of a struggle. These will, you know, these were not for some reason, but I think having these, just these little photos, just all this fun stuff that you know, you get it on online. Some of it's from my personal stash. This is from a hardware store, and you just, if you organize it and you can see it, you use it. And that's, I think that's my biggest takeaway with this project is if you get everything within reach and you organize it, for some reason it just seems to go a lot more smoothly. I know there's a lot of creators out there that a mess is their muse. They can create in just a disaster, and it inspires them. I have anxiety attacks if I have way too much stuff and it is not organized and it's everywhere. I'm just being super truthful about the way I work. So having all of these bins that were filled with what most people might think of as garbage, or just toss it and start from scratch kind of thing, I'm using it, and I'm having a ball using it. I love recycling, reusing, thrifting, using old and new, using digitals. For me is just something I've used through the years, but I haven't really relied on it as much as I do now. And to me, it's a staple. I absolutely love having digitals. This is a digital right here. This right here is a digital. So, you know, just mixing old with new, it's just, I just absolutely love it. It's just so much fun. And I hope that you will dig into your stash, and I hope you will have fun making clusters, envelopes, tuck spots, and getting into your journals. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.